Hello, you're watching For the Win. I'm Melisa Idris. I have on the show with me Shankar Santhiram, the Managing Consultant of EQTD Consulting. He's back on the show and hopefully will be with us for the next 10 episodes. So we did episode 1 last week about developing a strong sense of purpose, Shankar. Today, again, we're at this beautiful common ground location at Mutiara Damansara in the Nexus building, the Nucleus Tower, that's right. And you know, people come here in a co-working space, Shankar, to I guess, because they have a strong sense of purpose. But not everyone wakes up in the morning and knows exactly why they're driving to work. I loved that example that you used in last week's episode about many of us wake up in the morning, and sometimes I find I struggle with this too. We wake up in the morning and we autopilot ourselves into the car, battling traffic, sit down at our desk, and we never actually stop and ask, why am I doing this?
Well, the easiest answer for why am I doing it is I need to live.
I need a paycheck.
I need the paycheck
at the end of the month. Yes,
that's right. You know, my lifestyle needs to be generated, and work offers me that opportunity. Everyone watching this right now, we have to be absolutely clear that the house that you live in was paid by the job that you do. This job or the job you did before, the car that you drive, the holidays that you take, so on and so forth. All of it is your lifestyle essentially is generated by it. But why is it that sometimes it's so easy to wake up, have a bounce in your step to get to work, and sometimes it's not possible?
Okay.
And I think that's always determined by a purpose drive.
Right.
I always like to give this example, right? And to the people that I run training programs with. So just assume you're working in an organization with 30 other people, and I'm your boss, and you get a memo from me saying that I'm taking all of you on a team building, the dreaded team building program, which I roll my eyes, and I know I shouldn't do that. I started off 20 years ago as a team building trainer.
Doing team building, that's right.
But I've just walked away from that because I think it's just completely useless and pointless. That's my professional opinion. But it's about building relationships, not about going on team building exercises. Having fun with your team, that's a different thing altogether. I think we all need to do that. So you get a memo from me, the boss. So I'm gonna put the scenario to you now, Melissa.
Okay.
So you get a memo from me, and you go, we're gonna go on a team building program, and let's see, you know, this incredible team building activity is going to take place, and I'm taking you all out to the Outbound School in Lumut.
Okay.
So if you're a little bit of an outdoorsy person, you go like, oh, nice. But if you're like me, I'm not sure what you're like, but if you're like me, I go like, damn, I don't want to climb mountains and, you know, do ebb sailing and stuff like that. But I go like, okay, I have to go because it's part of my KPI.
Because the boss has told you to go.
I can't escape. You know, my grandmother's died 4 times already this year. I have no more excuses.
No excuses. Running out of grandmothers.
Running out of grandmothers to kill off. You know, so I'm going to have to go. And then I read the small print of that memo or that email that comes to me, and you read it, and you see that you have to leave. The coach leaves for Lumut at 6 a.m.
Right.
From your office, your Astro AWANI office, which is in, you know, the center of town, the Bursa building, wherever you're located. Yep. So you have to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means, you know, wherever you live, you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning or 4 o'clock or whatever to get there. When the alarm rings at 4 o'clock that morning, choice words are going to come out.
I can picture it.
You will get up. You will get yourself up and going because you know you need to be there.
But
you're not going to be happy. You're going to be like, come on, and
dragging yourself
there'll be a lot
out
of bleeping, you know,
and there's resentment. And
absolutely.
yes.
I mean, after a while, you're all right. Once you're up and running, you go like, okay, you know, we go. Okay. So that's one scenario, and how difficult it is to wake up.
Right.
Now I present you another scenario. So I'm your boss again. We did really well last year, and all of you got a nice bonus. I've got a little bit of money left, and I send a memo out to all of you and say, I've decided that I'm going to take everyone away for a long weekend in Bali.
Oh.
Right? But we've got a limited amount of money. So all 30 of us are going to go, got a limited amount of money. I'm going to give you the choice. Fly a legacy airline, normal kind of time and, you know, good thing, and we get maybe a 3-star resort. Or if I find the cheapest flight out of Kuala Lumpur to get us to Denpasar and Bali, we can get maybe a 4-star, even a 5-star resort. So you all go 5-star resort. I think that will be the natural answer that everyone gives.
That's
you know,
right.
give
Suffer
3
a little
days.
bit in the beginning.
And then we'll have a
luxury in the end.
Then continue reading that memo or email, and it says that, you know, our group check-in at the airport, Kuala Lumpur International Airport, is at 6 a.m.
Ooh.
Which means you have to wake up at 4 again. 3:30
Yes, but I would be less resentful.
Oh, so how are you going to feel when the alarm rings at that morning?
I wouldn't mind as much, I would say.
You'll be jumping out of bed, the spring in your step. You might not even have slept the night before. Some of our colleagues might be waiting at the airport from the night before, you know, doing whatever they're doing. And the act of waking up at 4 is exactly the same.
Right.
But the destination determines your energy, your enthusiasm, your ability to wake up, your ability to, shake off sleep to get there. And that's because the purpose of going on a team building program, if you're not totally vested in it, and if you think that, I've been on 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 team building programs and nothing ever changes in my organization. I go for a long weekend, we rah-rah, we thigh slap, we say, apa yang penting kerja sama, then we all come back on Monday and hate each other still. You think, why am I doing this?
Okay.
Whereas the purpose drive of getting up in the morning and flying to Bali, wow, my God, that's a holiday destination.
So the purpose changes the way you approach, especially your work.
Destination
Right.
always gives you the requisite energy to do what you want.
Okay.
So it's the same. Like, how many times have you been like this? I'm in this boat. In a few weeks from now, I know I'm going off to Austria, that's where my wife comes from, and going on holiday. Right? I will wear myself out before I get on the plane just through anticipation, excitement, thinking about stuff.
Packing.
Yeah, and then I'll arrive at my destination. First thing I need to do is fall asleep for a while because I'm so excited about being there.
It's because the energy expand from being excited about the purpose, being filled with purpose.
Determines the energy.
So I think the idea is to have that same sense of energy and purpose applied to your professional sense. We're going to talk about that after we come back from these messages. Stay with us right here on For the Win. You're watching For the Win. I'm Melisa Idris with Shankar Santhiram of EQTD Consulting. We're talking about developing a strong sense of purpose for your professional life. Now, I guess, we know it's important, but how do we determine what it is that will drive us to go to work every morning?
Well, you need to understand why you go to work. What is it
beyond just the money, right, Shankar?
The money, the money is an ensuing byproduct of what you do. I mean, one of the books that really affected my life a long, long time ago was a book by Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. He was an Austrian neurologist and psychologist who lived through the Holocaust, and he created a therapy called logotherapy.
Logotherapy? What's that?
Which is a psychological thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A psychoanalytical process of getting through it's therapy, therapeutic stuff for people. But in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he says, I remember one of the lines in the book where he says, don't go chasing for success. Success is an ensuing byproduct of serving a higher cause.
Wow. Which
is a very profound statement, I think. And in my own coaching programs, this is another kind of a true story. I mean, I own a comedy club as well in Kuala Lumpur, and often we hear the word true story. All comedians stand up and say true story. Most of the time when they say it's a true story, they're making it up, right? But this is truly a true story, okay, right? That I want to narrate to you. I was invited to work with an organization some years ago, coaching their senior managers. So I was given 5 people, and often after the first 2 or 3 sessions, I have to go back and report to the line leader or whoever hires me, with the managing director or the HR director, so on, so forth. Explain to them how the coaches are doing. I have a confidentiality clause with the coachee that I can't tell the line leader everything, but I give some broad strokes to make them feel that they're getting their money's worth.
Okay.
Because they pay me to do this, and everybody wants return on investment. So I go up back, and I had 5 people, and I told the CEO of the company at the time, quite frankly, I said, 4, fine, no problem, I can do. But there's one guy, a finance manager, I think you should take him off the program because he's not responding to me. Perhaps the chemistry is not right. Maybe he doesn't find me engaging enough, or there's something, there's a disconnect.
Okay.
I can continue, swiping your cash every month, but I feel a little bad. Put somebody else who might benefit. And he said, he's one of the people that really needs help. So he appealed to me and he said, do you want to plow through a little bit and figure this one out? So in good faith, I said, okay, let me think about this and see how I can. So I went back and I was thinking about how to get this guy to engage with me a lot more. Because he was qualified, he was very good, but he was terrible at his job in this multinational company.
Okay.
Literally terrible, right? So now, when I get invited a few weeks later to a local kind of club, one of these Rotary type events,
Sure.
where I'm invited as a speaker. And I turn up there, and I go just before my time slot to speak. And it's a small group, 30, 40 people sitting inside there. And I can't remember what I was talking about, but I got up to speak for about 15 minutes. And as I was speaking, I spotted him in the crowd.
Oh.
He was there.
Okay.
And so he smiled at me because I was his coach, and I kind of nodded back at him. I finished. And then the president of the club came to me later to introduce me to all the office bearers. So we went round, and then when he came to him, he just said, he just straight out introduced and said, "This is so and so," and I said, we actually know each other, and so the guy was more, he did this, and then he was waxing lyrical about this man and how amazing he was in the club, how he single-handedly raised ringgit 1 million the year before for some education project, and how the club is beholden to him, so on and so forth. And I went back and I thought to myself, this guy's so ineffective at work.
But he's so good at this.
So when I sat with him at my next coaching session, I said, "Hey, come, let's put all the vestiges of our jobs aside, what you're doing and what I'm doing. How is it that you're so effective there, but there seems just to be so many problems with you at work?"
Right.
And we talked. And that 2-hour session was the best coaching session I had with anyone from that company, because he was so totally honest with me. And he said, the work that I do, I'm really interested in education and children's development, and that's what I really wanted to do. And I wanted to become a teacher when I was younger, and I then ended up being good at accounting, and I started doing this. So now it's just a job,
and that's always dangerous, right? When you say it's just a job.
Well, it's just a job. I only work here. You've always heard that.
Yeah.
People say, you ask them many questions. Don't ask me so many questions. I only work here.
I just work here.
And you want to smack them in the head and say, that's the only reason why we're talking to you, because you work here. So I had to figure with him, and we had to work through. We had to work through his emotions about being at the job, and then we had to break it down to why he didn't become a teacher, or why this was so important to him. And so then he got connected with the idea of I had to help him get connected with the idea that his professional drive was so low that he was going to lose his job. And what was going to happen to him if he lost that job? Was he in a financial position to continue to support his other choices in life?
Right.
And when he got connected with that, he became better at work.
So you can tweak your purpose to make it fit into your professional purpose, even if it doesn't quite coincide.
The thing is, use this. How do you do that connections in your head? And that's what people always get muddled up. Oh, this is my passion, so I want to do this. Your passion. I mean, that's one of the biggest myths in the world, that you need to follow your passion. Okay,
I'm going to come back to that, Shankar, because I think that's interesting. What happens when you have a purpose, but it doesn't intersect with what you're currently doing as your day job? We're going to come back and talk about that right here on For the Win.